Thought I might do this. Thinking about some things. I wanted to talk about three things, I think. I want to do three. It's pretty long, though. This might be at least 20 minutes. I'm going to try to explain everything, try to go through it the best way that I can. I guess the first thing I'll talk about, because I thought about it first, and it is such a good morning. I like it. I got sleep, slept very well. Feels really good out here. Nice to take a walk. Morning walks are one of my favorites when it used to be one of the worst things to get up in the morning. I love nights also. I remember when I used to love the day more than anything, but night was still one of probably my favorite regardless. But that does change, as I'm sure it does for everybody at some point. But night's pretty good. But alright. So I wanted to talk about, so there's this, because on YouTube there's a lot of things on YouTube that people will talk about and then other people will start talking about, or they'll say. And they talk about it and they say it as if they know what it is, or they try to promote an understanding of it. There's different tones that people use, or maybe they're over enthusiastic about things. And this is something that affected me when I was little, where people would say things a certain way as if they understood it, what it meant 100%, at least to their own knowledge, but it rubbed off on me as that this is what this is supposed to be. And a lot of people do this. And one of the things that concerns me the most is when people try to act like they know about something that is very deep within your soul, and you don't really know anything about this if you have not looked within yourself and thought about it. Not to just sit around and laugh and goof around and say that oh, I know about, yeah, this, and that. And one of the things that concerns me a lot, and quite honestly, it offends me a little bit. Now, I call it presence. I know other people started, I hate how people just started saying this crap. I mean, there's a lot of things that people say, and then everybody else says it. Shoot, bro's one of the words I hear everybody say. I mean, most people, I'll look at some comments. Oh my gosh, there's so many ducks and chickens. What the? I kind of want to walk down this dirt road anyway. Well, I actually want to walk down the other one. It's a longer dirt road. It'll be cooler. But yeah, they'll put that in their front sentence. And now look, I understand, because back when I used to go to school and back when I used to be young, all right, there were a lot of things that people said. There were a lot of reasonings people said. It's no different. It's absolutely no different. But it is getting worse. It's not a good thing that this is becoming. What I don't like about it is that people think that this is their identity. You try to put it as for what you are, and that's not what you are. You're not a single sentence. You're not just one single. You're not just this word. You're not meant to be this way or that way. And I know some of you're young, and maybe you're just having trouble. Maybe you're not too young and you're grown up more, and you just don't understand some things. Maybe you're going through a hard time. Maybe you don't understand how hard of a time you're going through, whether it be yourself or somebody else, anybody else. And sometimes it's hard. Sometimes you don't feel like you're ready. But I'll tell you this, things are going to happen. Things are going to keep happening. It's going to keep going. So there's no such thing, are you ready? It's mostly, are you willing? Do you want to go into this place that you might be afraid of? It might not make you feel comfortable. I'm not saying force yourself, but you do have to try to go into it. No one ever said to just go into it and know about it 100%, and then just finish it and complete it. No. Because we are not anything complete. We do not complete. We keep getting better. And that's the thing. That is the answer. So when I see people start their sentences off like that, or when I see someone talk about something as if they're supposed to sound this way, or they have to be this way, or know something in a certain way, it really throws me off. And I think a lot of people that do this, they have abandoned who they really are. And sometimes they do it willingly, and other times they just do it because they're not sure. You don't know. And oftentimes, if you're too young, then of course you're not gonna know. I mean, when you're young, you're gonna say a bunch of dumb things. You're gonna think about a bunch of stupid stuff. You're going to do things that don't make any sense. But that's normal for someone that, from about, I guess you could say, 3 to, I'd say 12 or 13 or 15. I'd say about there, about right there. I mean, shoot, even when you get 3 years, 18 is not, just because you're 18 does not mean that you're suddenly just supposed to be perfect. If you think about it, 2 years ago you were 16, 3 years ago you were 15, 5 years ago, just think about it. You're not supposed to have it all together at 18. You're legally known as an adult, but really you're not even. You're getting there, but there's so much more for you. There's so much more awaiting you. 18 is not a magical number. 21 is not a magical number. I know a lot of people like to for dumb reasons that I do not even indulge myself in at all. Because I understand the risk to it, and I'm not in the mind state to quit like I used to be. Or to give in to certain things, to give in to just not being there for myself the way that I should have. And like I said, sometimes you don't know how. I guess that ended up being that. I didn't really expect that to go that way, but when I get to talking, things come together differently, and hopefully things can come together for anybody. Find whatever works for you. And remember, no one can take this from you. No one's there. I mean, if someone's judging you, it doesn't matter. If you worry about who's judging you all the time, then you're creating a distraction. It's a distraction. That's not what makes you confident about if someone judges you greatly. What makes you confident is when you can judge yourself and not beat yourself down. That's the first step. This is a very good step, actually. That's one of the harder ones, and I should know because I used to do this. I was one of the worst people I know about that. All right. And then as you get there, I'd say you will start to have new things come into your mind, new feelings, and you have to be able to deal with these. And I'd say learn about them as quickly as possible. As quickly as possible. It's going to be difficult. There are going to be difficulties, but that's a part of it. And then I would just say go from there. I'd say continue from there and get to know yourself. Because remember, those people that judge you, you should not care about that, especially if you're not really trying to get to know them and they don't know you. So that's just very stupid, and you might just be looking for a reason to let yourself down. If that makes that any better. So secondly, now on the first one I said presence. I'm pretty sure y'all understood what I meant about people saying certain things. You're on the internet enough, you know what I'm talking about, all right? If people that just mindlessly say stuff as if it's so grand and glorious, it's not a good thing. It's really not, for someone to chase after gratification that bad, for you to want to be so valid all the time, that's not good. And do not hesitate to look up some of these words if you do not know what they mean. But yeah, there's just no dignity. There's no dignity. There's no dignity in copycatting somebody else. There's no dignity in sounding like another person. There's no dignity in not being who you are. Even if who you are is difficult for you to understand and to be. But I would rather struggle to figure out who I am and mess up than to act like something that I am not. And I have never done this. As I've grown up, I've always, for some reason, understood that, this is how they are. How am I going to be? And sometimes I would just leave it alone. I would just walk away from it. And this is not for me. No, I don't want to do that. That's stupid. I would rather walk away. Yeah, other than that, I'd walk away. I'm not going to sit around, and I think that's wrong. I've always thought someone wanting me to act like them or be like them or try to be similar to them just so I can, that's wrong. That's clearly wrong. There's nothing right about it. You're just not. I'm just gonna leave you guys alone, stay away from you, far from you. And back then that used to make me upset, but I protected myself. I successfully protected myself because I knew that there was a danger to this, and it didn't feel right. But all right, on to the second, I believe. Guess I'll talk about this one. I thought this would be my third or something, but I don't know yet. So I actually thought about something, and I know a lot of people go through this as well. I don't really think I'm going to say it in the way that I want to right now, because there's different moments and that's just how I like to do things sometimes. My moments change, therefore my thoughts change, but I will try to get it on track. Maybe I just need a minute, because I really wanted to say this the way I wanted. It's something I've thought about for a couple of days. I've went over it, and it's taught me. I have gotten so much knowledge from it. It's going to be very useful for when I need it. It's something that I'm trying to get stuck into my head, and I pretty much have, but I'd say it's about half, because It's like that time or that you would think of something and you don't want to forget about it, or you want to have that same feeling and that same thought so that you can say it the way you want. But sometimes if you leave that feeling with that thought, when the feeling goes away, the thought also goes away. And that's something that I have trouble with sometimes, which I've never really openly said. Maybe I just taught myself something right there. Seeing as there's always a hurdle, there's always an answer to something for you. So answer. See, look, I was just talking about this. So a lot of times your answer, it's not, see, this is one of the things about not having the answer that helps you. Because the thing is, just because you get an answer does not mean you will get a solution, does not mean you will get a complete understanding of something. That's what a lot of people think an answer is, or what it's supposed to be. And this goes to, that alone could tell you a lot, really. So some people, you might be a little stubborn. You might not be satisfied with it. Might not be what you wanted to hear. Maybe you're still going in circles with yourself and you keep going back to the same thing. And that could be that you have been driven to the same thing over and over every day, and you just want it to stop. Well, understanding that stuff is good. I will say that. But sitting around and telling yourself that you're losing it and whatever, or you don't like this much. See, you can say you don't like something, but when you're saying, oh man, this is why, this is so, why couldn't it be, all of this back and forth with yourself. This is something I had to learn. Oh, it's freaking squirrels. They make it sound like it's something else. But other than that, alright. Other than that, I already said it, right? I'd say first try to find a place where you can feel safe at, and you can have your thoughts to yourself, and it's private, where you feel like you're content, where you feel like is the closest thing that feels like peace, and it feels like it's your place. It's your little spot that you have. You can think about stuff a lot easier. And if you have to write stuff down, do it. If you have to record it with your voice, do it. And I don't think anything is bad. Anything that you record or write down is never a bad thing. Never get rid of it, because it will give you answers. It will help you understand yourself. And after you say it, you look at it and remind yourself it's not useless. It's not. When you express yourself that way, when you say things that you probably don't think that are worth it or make no sense, that's not true. That is how I figured out a lot of stuff about myself. There are people that will tell you that you're not supposed to talk this way or act this way or be this way. I will say this again, those people are buffoons. They do not understand. Alright, they don't get it. I would just say ignore them, because they are just a big nothing, alright? So keep it, and it's for you anyway. You're the only one that can really figure it out. No one can help you. It's the same thing for everybody else. Everybody has to figure something out with themselves, by themselves. It's how it's meant to be. That's how a lot of growth comes to be. That is how you become within yourself older. This is how, well, not older. I don't want to say that because it's the way people see it nowadays. So I'd say that since on the understanding of what I want you to understand when I say that, you just become better knowing of yourself. Therefore, you will feel better. You will handle things better. You will understand how to go about certain things. And what will happen is you will look back on some of the things that you have done, and you will start to question yourself. And you'll say, why am I doing this? I shouldn't have done that. This is wrong. Stuff like that. And when, and as time goes, you do that and you continue, you will start to see a change. This is how change comes about. Because we don't know everything. And like I was talking about in the beginning, don't go around talking like you're supposed to be something you're not, or that you know everything, I don't know, or that you're supposed to act a certain way just to make other people happy. See, as long as you don't believe this within yourself, I don't care if you do it, I don't care if you say it or you still do it, but as long as you know within yourself that this isn't right, you will find your change. That change will stay, and one day it will be your time to continue this, to continue your journey that you have not been able to take. So don't give up on it. Don't let it go, because it's yours, nobody else's. And like I say, if anybody, including whoever you live with, cannot see this and understand this, maybe they don't even know how to make themselves any better than what they are. And there's a lot of people that would rather be worse than better. That's fine. Because again, you are your biggest supporter. It's always been you. There is help within seeing others as well, right? How they do things. And sometimes a lot of this can be relatable to you. It can. Is it completely you? No, it's not. Nobody can be you. There is no such thing as another you. We are all so different to the point to where even if we were similar, it would still not be, it would not compare. It simply would never. And you should not want that. I would say that you would want to be who you are. I say that instead of acting like you're supposed to be something else so much and being so happy about that, go around being happy that you are who you are, right? That no one else is like you. I would rather you go around saying that. Now, okay, well, I know some people that say that. They try to act very different. I'm not saying do that. I'm not saying go around and act like, oh, I'm so different than y'all, I'm better than y'all. No. Keep it to yourself. Keep it to yourself. It's nobody's business. And it's private. It's not supposed to, people aren't supposed to know. They don't need to know any of that stuff. It's just you gotta work on, becoming less rude about things. Talking about how you say things, right? Your tone. And maybe you get a little angry or upset sometimes. Now, for whatever reason that is, it's still important to work on it. You can tell yourself, oh, I only got angry or upset because of this or that. Well, don't miss the opportunity to learn why. Because what's going to happen is that if you don't at least try to do that, then you're going to drive yourself crazy. One of these days, it might not be happening right now, but you're going to go insane, which isn't a good thing. I know that might sound funny to some of you, but it's true. I've laughed about certain things and kidded around about a lot of things in my life, but I've gotten to the point where I am now, and I take it a lot serious. I'm starting to take it serious because what happens is it just happens. You don't know, it just falls on you one day, and that's it. Then you have no choice but to take it seriously, because now you see why now. And a lot of times we focus on too much of what other people say, like I said, and what they feel and what they tell you that they act like they know 100% of, and then you believe it, you take it into account. But the thing of it is, they don't know you. You probably don't even know you that well. You're probably too focused on trying to know what other people, and you're not even trying to understand yourself better. Now, if you're a kid, a lot of times you're not going to be so good at this. I know there's some of you out there that can. Even if it's a little, it's good. And sometimes whoever you live with, they're not holding their end of what they pretty much were supposed to do if they had kids, and then they had more kids because their kid had a kid, and they don't want to pass on their knowledge, and they don't want to make the world a better place for you, and then make sure that when you grow up that you will have the best person come out of you when you go out into the world. Because once you get to that age, everything's gonna start depending on you more and more, especially when you have nobody else. Hopefully that doesn't happen for some of you, but for a lot of us it happens, and sometimes it happens and it's not supposed to happen, it just happens. But either way, it's still important. It doesn't matter. It's still very important always. And this ended up talking about something else. But it kind of goes hand in hand with what I was talking about anyway, so I wish this car was not here right now. I wanted to walk down this road by myself. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to go down here by myself and go back just to get away from the car. I just want to be here alone. But yeah, the cool thing is I did specify what I was meaning to talk about, so this is a good thing. This isn't a bad thing. I thought it was going to be a bad thing. But that's good. I got better at it, see? When I think about something or talk about something, and then what I do is I put it all together in my head, and I see it in my mind. And then once that happens, I might not be able to see it and think of it right on the spot, but I can explain it. I can explain it better than I did in my head. Even though in my head, the feelings felt better when I said it, and that's sometimes, sometimes you say something that feels right or that feels wrong, but a lot of times, just because it felt wrong or right does not mean that it was good or bad, or the other way around. Sometimes in the best ways that you say something or do something was just good for that moment, but it doesn't mean that it was good for you for the rest of your life or for the rest of the day, or the other way around, right? And that's a lesson to be learned. And you're going to meet a lot of them lessons. Whoever you are, you're going to go through this. You've gone through it already. But I wasn't still thinking about this. I only got about 5 minutes left because my memory is not good. I don't want to keep doing this until it hits the memory spot. That would not be great. Until it gets to that end. We don't want that. But yeah, I've went through pretty much everything I wanted to talk about. It's just so funny because I wanted to say what I thought about in my mind not too long ago, and I wanted to re-say it exactly the way I did though. I did say it, I just said it differently. Which is good because I wanted it to be in my mind anyway. And I guess that's more of I explained it as why. If I would have just said it in the simple way, well, because I know there's more than one person watching me, right? So I have to appease to whoever else sees it. And I think there's a difference between if you talk to someone or if you're just talking on a video or in real life or to someone else. I think it's different for different times. It's said differently for different times. I'm still going to think about this and write it down. My mind is just my head's up in the air right now. I'm very clear in my head. So maybe it's just not meant to be said right now. I think this is just I think I would rather have said this to encourage, to have a little bit more uplift, to have a little bit of everything. I think that was important for this. And it's also because, yeah, it's coming to me now that I understand that I cannot meet people's needs in the ways that I could if I knew who they were. So me saying it in the ways that I've said it so far will reach a long way to the people that find it useful. And you'll know that I put effort into what I said. And I'm not going to say anything that puts somebody off. There are some things that people say that they try to turn you into something or whatever, or say that you're supposed to be this, you're supposed to go out here and do this, you talk to someone like this, you do this. I mean, we are what we are a lot of the times, and we cannot help this. And sometimes that is just who we are. Sometimes we love to be who we are. We will not change just because, and that's just me personally. I know there's other people, but I don't like to replicate what somebody else is. I think it's a very dirty thing to, it's pretty disgusting to me. I don't want to walk and talk like somebody else. I don't want to be like somebody else. Because I love myself and respect myself way too much. And I think I think if I did that, then I'm going against who I am. And that is horrible for me to even do that to myself, you know? That's really bad. That's not fair. That's horrible to me. And I feel like some people don't see it that way. And you really should. You should to a certain degree. But yeah, this is about to end because I don't want to run it. I only got 1 minute and 30 seconds. Yeah, pretty much. I've went over a lot of more things than I thought I would. But that's what it ended up being. And yeah, I guess everything else that I was thinking about, I have to write it down or something and think about it more because I got it. Sometimes things are reserved for others in different times, and sometimes there's always something for you that is only for you sometimes. But it's not, everything ain't about you either, you know? Not everything's about you. Just be careful. Don't try to make everything about you. Don't try to take everything because you feel like you have nothing. And don't try to trick yourself into thinking that something's good for you and it's not. Always question it, always look back on it. Don't just go with it because it feels nice or it sounds right or that it'll probably do you some good. There's no good in any of that if it's not. So just be sure. Yeah, I gotta go. Holy crap, the second's left.